Okay, so I'm probably about to blow your mind right now. Or not, if you know my history with my tendency to try and deviate from the norm at least a little bit. And that trickles down to the games I'm interested in. And this time, I'm just more interested in Jedi Fallen Order than Death Stranding. Death Stranding, sure, is probably fine and appeals to its crowd, but I want Jedi Fallen Order, okay? It's the game that I have been most excited for this whole year. I mean, I was really up there for Devil May Cry 5, but I had a feeling it was going to be spectacular. This game, I'm not 100% sure. Uh, I'm a little nervous, as I feel like we all should be, and I want to take a little bit of time to explain why that is and why I say everyone should be a little nervous about this game. Everybody that's a fan of Star Wars and Star Wars games and Respawn Entertainment and Titanfall, even if you like Titanfall, you should be a little bit worried about this game. Let me tell you why. This isn't just a Respawn game, just like Battlefront 1 and 2 weren't just DICE games. They're still EA published games. And as we all understand, EA is one of the greediest corporations on the entire planet. And just buying their game is not enough money for them. They have to monetize every single crevice of the game, even going so far as to make the game pay to win, if that's what's necessary. And it's never necessary, but it's what they do because they don't think there's any other way. EA is a company that has a track record for just closing the doors on the development studios when things underperform, like there's some sort of tyrant. It's just what they do. Pandemic is gone. Bullfrog is gone. Visceral is gone. Just because. And I really do think Bioware is next. I'm surprised they survived the whole Anthem thing and Mass Effect Andromeda, but that's neither here nor there. If Jedi Fallen Order doesn't do well, I'm worried that Respawn will be shut down. Now, it's not that I don't have belief in their ability to make a game that has nothing to do with being a first-person shooter. I just feel like if you have all these studios under your umbrella, if you want to make a space romp, go to the development studio that makes space romps. Bioware, the professionals that work at Bioware have years of experience making these types of games. Mass Effect. You can even make it a bit of a horror game if you want to. Make it like a little Dead Space with Star Wars things. That's fine too. But I think it's unfairly risky to take your shooter developers and make them make an over-the-shoulder adventure game. Totally single-player adventure game. I don't think that they're incapable of doing it. I just feel like a lot of people would be like, they made the Titanfall games. Why would I think that they can make a Star Wars game that has nothing to do with shooting things? But I don't want to play this game. And as a result, that could be potentially lost sales. I don't want there to be any excuse for this game to underperform because I don't want Respawn to be gone with the wind because I want to play Titanfall 3 someday. One thing that is important to consider, though, is that EA has shown themselves to be able and willing to bend to pressure if and when that pressure becomes sufficient enough, substantial enough, I should say. Everything that happened after Battlefront 2 launched is an example of that. I mean, there was a whole pay-to-win thing with all the characters. It's like either you pay $25 or you grind 40 hours or something like that just to get one character. Which is funny because that's kind of how it is in Rainbow Six Siege, but not that bad, I don't think. Point is, though, after all that happened, Disney, forced EA to remove the loot box system from the game. And that fundamentally broke the game for a while. Couldn't even buy a hero. I don't know if that's changed. I hope so, because they've put out like 9 heroes since then. But they also went so far as to promise that there will be no loot boxes, no microtransactions, no DLC in Jedi Fallen Order. Now, I've seen that there is a pre-order bonus. I don't care. Games have pre-order bonuses all the time. But there's also a deluxe edition which I don't know what's in the deluxe edition, but I don't care, so I didn't get that version of it. I pre-ordered the standard edition of the game just because I don't want to contribute to EA getting to be greedy. That's just how that is. But I've seen a lot of complaints about this pre-order bonus. You get like an orange lightsaber blade, and you get like an alternate skin for your backpack droid. I still don't know his name. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. But yeah, I saw somebody be like, well, this just proves that EA is going to monetize the hell out of the game like they did the last time. Even if they do, we're going to fight back. You know, like we're going to win. They can't do that a second time. It's not going to work. But here's the big but, right? EA is a company that has gone on record saying they don't think that gamers want single-player games anymore. They think single-player games are going out of fashion, and they think that massively online games are the only way forward as a gaming community, which obviously isn't true. Game of the Year last year went to God of War, and was up against Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2 and Celeste. Sure, Monster Hunter is multiplayer, but like, come on. Like, it doesn't have to be. Like, it's still an experience you can have on your own. And that's still very important to consider when you're thinking about gaming as a whole. Single player games aren't going anywhere, obviously. I mean, one of the biggest games this year was Death Stranding, and another one is Jedi Fallen Order, 2 single player games. But if this game performs extraordinarily well, I don't mean just like, oh, it sells 1 million copies. I mean, like, if this game puts out like 7 million copies or something like that, something absurd, what's EA gonna say? What's gonna be their excuse going forward? They will have to acknowledge that single player games still have their place. And maybe we'll get some more games like it in the future. Maybe we'll get more well-rounded campaigns in the Battlefield and Titanfall games in the future, which, I mean, still, Titanfall 2 campaign. Well, maybe we'll get completely single-player games. Maybe we'll get Need for Speed back. Need for Speed has gone the way of the EA, and I miss it. I miss it a lot. I want to see it come back. But could Jedi Fallen Order set the new precedent for the future of EA games? That's the question. I honestly think that if this game performs well, then yeah, it could. It really could. And maybe we could get things like Dead Space back. Who knows? EA needs to be shown that they are wrong and do not understand gamers. They are this big, faceless corporation that thinks only in the form of numbers. Games get delayed left and right all the time. We don't care. The Last of Us 2 got delayed, and The Last of Us 2 is going to be one of the biggest games of 2020. But overall, the community is okay with it because, hey, better game. More time in the oven, better game. But EA is like, we're going to set a release date, and that's it. The game will come out when we say it comes out, regardless as to whether or not it's finished, regardless as to whether or not it functions, regardless as to whether or not it's enjoyable. But Jedi Fallen Order has had its time in the oven. So when it launches in a couple days, hopefully, this can be the start of a revolution, the first breed of a new generation of EA. Maybe we'll get Skate back. I think that could be cool. But yeah, I mean, like, I remember at a time EA used to make games. Now they just sit there and publish. That's all they do. It's really annoying. But like I said, if this game does anywhere near as well as, like, I don't know, Batman Arkham Knight, then EA will be forced to step away, look at things, and reevaluate. And if they don't, if they continue the same business model in the future after Jedi Fallen Order is a success, they'll have to face the music, I guess. I mean, the wrath of 10 million gamers is a terrible thing to incur. So I don't think that they would want to do that to themselves. I think that they would want to continue to pretend to be the good guys here. They want to be the Jedi, but we know they're Palpatine. But if they can pretend to be Chancellor Palpatine and not Emperor Palpatine, then they'll be okay. And yeah, I just really hope that this game does well. I hope it's good. I hope it's got some replayability, because I want EA to be forced to make a change, and I want Respawn to stay open. That's where I stand on this whole thing. I'd love to know what you think, and may the Force be with you.